Hey everybody, this is Alzorath and welcome back to Diablo 2. Today we're doing another bonus video. It's another build one, in fact, that we're going to be looking at the Sorceress this time. This is going to be probably one of the closest things you'll see me use to a concentrated magic find character. I don't generally dedicate myself to that, but that's an entirely kind of separate discussion from this. We have about 250% magic find on it. That is enough for what we're going to be doing, and it doesn't slow us down at all by having this amount. That's why I go for it. But anyway, we're using the Alzorath set, as you can tell by the glowiness around us. That means we're using the full set. I unfortunately do not actually have a good Fire Mastery lidless eye. I still haven't just found one. I keep finding the cold and lightning oriented ones. So that's what I use there. Just lidless eye, just one with Fire Mastery. It's fine. It's not awesome, but it does give us the +3 for having the full set bonus. So that is good by me. And also does help your faster cast rate. It gives you some life and mana. It's just all around a decent thing, and it does affect enemy resistances. You actually can, if they already have broken resistances, use this to amplify your damage. That is the whole point of lower resistance on equipment, is to amplify damage once your mercenary breaks resistances. So you have the lidless eye, you have the Alzorath's guardianship plate mail, which is not plate mail, lacquered plate, which is a good magic find. It has low requirements. It's got a little bit of faster cast rate from the set bonus. It's got some resist. It's just generally all around good. I don't have anything socketed in it. I'd probably either put a fire rainbow facet in it, or possibly, if you're really hurting on resistances, an rune, which we aren't really hurting that bad on resistances. We are fine for what we do. On the mask, probably the least useful part of it is going to be the Alzorath's crest, and that's going to be another thing that you could put an rune in to get more resistances if you're really needing them. It comes with 15% on its own though, and it's also a really good mercenary helmet, so I recommend collecting as many of these as you can possibly find. In the amulet slot, we actually have 2 sorceress skills from Alzorath's adjudication, and it also gives us a little bit more faster cast, and you'll notice we are at the second to last breakpoint. The final breakpoint is, I think, at 200 faster cast rate. We're actually a bit over the 100 and something one, which is kind of what you want to aim for. We're not going for like massive PvP or anything like this. That one frame is not going to make a massive difference. As far as the shield, we've got a spirit. Standard spirit. It's a little bit of a weaker one than what I usually use. I'd go for 35% faster cast rate, but we don't need that 1%. So I'm good with what it's got, and it's +2 all skills, so that's going to help us out as well on the skill front. Down here at the bottom, we've got Ward Travelers for a bit of magic find, because frankly, most boots are kind of useless to us. So magic find there is always welcome. You'll find I use Ward Travelers a lot because there are better things for that slot for certain characters, but this is just all around a just good pair of boots with good things. If you need resistances, you can swap it out, but for the most part, you're just getting magic find, some strength, vitality, lower your stat requirements on stuff. It's just all around just good. A little bit of faster run walk doesn't hurt either. 2 Stone of Jordans, just because they're there. Pretty decent little additions. You might want to use Bulkathos for extra life. You notice we actually have 1200 life, so it's not going to matter too much, but Bulkathos can give you more life, whereas Stone of Jordan gives you a little bit more mana. Both give you +1 skills, which is very nice. You notice I'm not using Nagel Rings here because I don't need the extra magic find. In the belt slot, we've got the Fine Spun Cloth Mesh Belt, and that's going to give you a bit of magic find. It's going to give you all these other little like lovelies with it. This is my best one. Unfortunately, the rest of mine are like 13s and 12s on the magic find, so she gets it because she's the only one using the full Tals set, so I might as well go all in on that. With the Stone of Jordan, by the way, you can replace these with resistance rings if you need resistances from there, or faster cast if you don't have, well, the full Tals set, or the Spirit or something, or the Mage Fist. If you don't have the extra like casting speed, you can replace them with faster cast ones, or if you're doing a lightning hybrid with this, you can actually do the faster cast as well, because lightning uses a slower cast rate with this. We aren't using lightning on this, so it's not going to matter. I use lightning on a different character, but Mage Fist is your +1 fire skills, which does help us because we are using fire. This is a Fire Sorceress, and it's going to be +1 fire skills, 20% faster cast rate, which is very nice, and the regenerate mana is just icing on the cake, so that works out pretty well. I don't up my equipment because I don't care to have higher strength requirements on it. Some people like the extra defense. I personally don't care about it because I would prefer just not to get hit. Just don't get close to the enemies and you don't have to worry about it. I only really up stuff on characters that are going to be going in like super close. As far as charms, just life resistances, all that stuff. You could do skill charms if you wanted more damage. We do enough, so I put magic find charms in there, some resistance charms, some life charms, and that gave us what we've got. Now, as far as skills on this character, and I should note this character is primarily being used for farming Andariel and Duriel, but it can be used in most places in the game. There are a few places where it's got blind spots. But in Lightning, we've actually got Static Field, Telekinesis, and Teleport, all 1-point wonders. I did not put any points in Lightning Mastery, it just comes with the equipment. So, hey, we're doing bonus damage on nothing we're casting. So, over in the Ice thing, I have actually gone for Frozen Orb. I've gone 20 points into it. This is just to give me a backup, just in case the mercenary dies and I need to go through stuff. That, and we don't need points anywhere else, so having a little bit of Orb doesn't hurt. It's a nice little like AoE that we can use that's a little bit more reliable than Meteor, and it can deal damage to fire immunes in case we're having to go through somewhere with fire immunes. And I did not put any points into Cold Mastery. These are all just points from gear. I'm not going to waste a point there because we still haven't even maxed out Fire Mastery. Reason I went for this instead of Fire Mastery is because we do enough damage with our fire skills to actually deal with it. So yeah, we'll see that in just a minute. I don't believe in just going for like massive damage for no purpose. We generally have enough damage with what we've got. Anything else is just icing on the cake, as I've said before. So in the fire tree, you notice I have gotten 1 point in Inferno, Blaze, and Firewall. That's just because they are prerequisites to Meteor, which sadly, despite doing 17,000 to 18,000 damage, is not my primary skill. I just have it on, like, maybe if I decide to use it kind of slot. It's okay versus bosses that stand still, but other than that, I generally just stick with Fireball. And yes, it gets up there in damage. 20 points into Fireball. This is my main damage skill. It's my left click. We can spam it super fast, and that is just jung, 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 right into their face. Probably one of the better spells out there. It does a bit of AoE splash, and it's just all around an amazing thing. It doesn't have any cooldown, so you're casting it as fast as your cast rate can actually handle, which is amazing. I actually really, really like using it. You also have Firebolt here. Some people actually like using Firebolt because it's cheap. This one does decent damage, so you could consider using this on your left click and using Fireball on your right. It's just not too amazing. If you were going to avoid Orb, as far as this tree goes, I would probably either go Warmth for the mana regen or Inferno for the boost to Meteor. And in that case, you'd probably almost definitely be using Fireball and Meteor as your main damage things because you'd actually have the massive fire damage up front plus the increased average fire damage per second per level, which I think gets up to 60% with all the points. So yeah, it's not a lot, but it helps. It's okay. It's not my favorite thing personally, but to each their own. And then you have Fire Mastery. This is actually not maxed out. We have 2 more points to go into it, but we're only level 98, so we only get 1 more point whenever we get to 99. 1 point off. It's only increasing by 7% per level, which actually puts it at less of a boost than into the synergies for Fireball. So that's why those are maxed out instead of Fire Mastery. It's slightly different for lightning spells because you actually, in lightning spells, the lightning mastery adds more, so you have to kind of consider that. So generally speaking, if you're going for Fireball, you want to boost Firebolt and Meteor first, and then Mastery. So that's kind of what works out there. And let's see, and actually I can put 3 more points in that because I have 1 from the wand. And I think that's about it as far as the actual build. Stat-wise, enough strength to use your gear, and then the rest into vitality. Didn't put any into mana, didn't put any into dexterity. You can see my block chance is 6%. Some people don't like that. Personally, I'm not going to PvP with this character, so I don't care about block rate for the most part. I'm not going to be running across enemies that are a problem with that either. So as far as like running with this character, I generally teleport past all the problems. You can see this is actually a really bad map. I do actually go back to Nightmare as well with this character to farm Andariel. Because in Nightmare you can actually get a better chance at getting the Stone of Jordan from Andariel as opposed to in Hell difficulty where I think it's 1 in 55 unique rings in Hell or something like that is going to be in Stone of Jordan, whereas 1 in 30 something in Nightmare is a Stone of Jordan because it has a smaller pool to pull from in Nightmare and she can still drop them there. But here, and I actually haven't done this in hell. I was doing some nightmare runs. You actually can come in here, you can kill off these guys, or you can just avoid it. I'm doing it because I'm actually commentating right now, and I'm not positive on my skills while doing so. But I was doing nightmare runs before this. Yay, looking for Stones of Jordan, because I do need more. But, yeah. We come in here, you just teleport across here, and yeah, since this is single player, you can actually just kind of just teleport around and do whatever you want. I'm going to save those for other things, and you get Twisted Essence of Suffering. She's real easy. Duriel's real easy. You unfortunately don't get your town portal from this. You can do it on players 8 as well. I'm doing it on players 1 again because I'm not sure about my abilities whenever I'm actually doing, you know, just commentating while doing this. And it's pretty much that simple for any boss. You just go to them. Since this is single player for me, I just literally just teleport straight to them and don't worry about any of the little fluffer nutters on the side because they're not going to be a huge threat. And let's see. I did scout it before doing this because I wanted to show off fighting each of the bosses. This one's going to be down here. And I didn't want to have to be wandering through the Arcane Sanctuary because that can take a while if you don't find the path right away. It took me 2 paths on this one, which is better than usual. And in here, generally speaking, Fireball's going to be your best friend. There's going to be cold immunes, and there's going to be other nasties. But you can see we just one-shot, well, 2-shot Gorebellies. We one-shot ghosts. And yeah, this is easy. It's not a difficult pursuit, and we don't even need to static field him, because look at that. That's just Fireball straight to his face. He can't kill us in time. Duriel's not the best one, but he actually also has a good chance compared to a lot of other enemies of dropping the rainbow gems. So rainbow facets. So definitely something to consider. Ooh, replenish life with +1. Amazing. But yeah, she just goes through. I can deal with almost any boss I want to face. And I can do Act 5 hell with this character. I can do Act 4 hell with this character. It just requires a bit more attention and concentration because you're having to deal with fire and cold immunes, and you're having to alternate which one you're using to hit them. Because for the Oblivion Knights, for example, you have to fireball them. For the Doom Knights, I think is what they're called, you actually have to frozen orb them because they're fire immune. So you're alternating left and right, which whenever you're kind of set up for it, it's not a huge problem, but if you're not used to it, it can be a little bit of a struggle. Mephisto, I generally just teleport across. I haven't scouted that one, so I can't show it off. It would take too long. But I've scouted... I haven't scouted him, but you just teleport across the river, go straight after him. You don't bother with the council. Unless you have decent resists, which we do. We could fight them, but it's not worth it to me to. So that's more of a cold source territory where you're using Blizzard and stuff, which can eat through most of the enemies. So yeah, it can go pretty much anywhere. I use it primarily for farming Act 1 and 2, which makes things relatively easy for me. Mercenaries using the standard in Dariel's Infinity and Fortitude kind of setup that I just transfer among my elemental damage characters, and it works out great. So if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time on another Diablo 2 bonus episode where we will probably show off another, well, we'll probably show off a build soon enough. But if you have any particular characters you want to see as builds, or particular challenge builds you'd like to see me try to make, or particular items you'd like to see me try to build around, or skills to build around in the case of certain things, mention them down below, and I will try my best to come up with something that's reasonable about it. Obviously, certain things like, you know, a Tooth Necro is going to be awkward as hell, but hey, we can look at it. It might only be useful in Nightmare, but hey, you never know. But anyway, keep gaming, have fun, peace out, this is Alzorath. Bye.